Section 3 of Bill and Doreen Get Hitched. Selections from The Songs of a Sentimental Bloke by Clarence James Dennis. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Son of the Exiles. Section 3 Hitched. And will you take this woman for to be your wedded wife? Oh, strike me! Will I what? Take her, Doreen? He stands there asking me, as if he thought perhaps I'd rather not. Take her? He seemed to think her kind was got like cigarette cards for the asking. Still, I does me stunt in this here hitchin' rot, and speaks me piece. Righto, I says, I will. I will, I says, and though a joyful shout came from me bustin' heart, I know it did, me voice got sort of mangled comin' out, and makes me whisper like a frightened kid. I will, I squeaks, and I'd a give a quid to have it on the quiet without this fuss, and all the starin' crowd that Ma had bid to see this solemn hitchin' up of us. For richer or for poorer, so he bleats, in sickness and in health, and there I stands, and dunno half the chatter I repeats, or what the 'ell to do with my two 'ands. But he don't hurry puttin' on our brands, this white-haired pilot bloke, but gives it lip, dressed in his little shirt with frills and bands, in sickness and in... I got the pip! And once I missed me turn, and Ginger Mick, who's my best man, he ups and beefs it out. "I will," he howls, and fetches me a kick. "Your turn to chin," he tips with a shout. And there I'm standin' like a gawky lout. Oh, spare me, but I seem to be all hands, and wonders what he's goin' crook about, with half a mind to crack him where he stands. Oh, love me, but old Ginger was a trick. Got up regardless for the solemn rite. He hawks the bunnies when he toils, does Mick, and twice I saw him feelin' for a light to start a fag, and trembles lest he might, through force of habit like. He's nervous too. That's plain for all his air of bluff and skite, and just as keen as me to see it through. But, 'struth, the women, how they love this frill! For Auntie Liz and Ma, o' course, was there, and Ma's two uncles' wives and Cousin Lil, and half a dozen more to grin and stare. I couldn't make me hands fit anywhere. I felt like I was up before the beak. But my Doreen, she never turns an hair, nor misses once when it's her turn to speak. Oh, strike! No more swell marriages for me. It seems a blinded year afore he's done. We could have fixed it in the registry twice over 'fore this cove had half begun. I s'pose the women get some sort of fun with all this guyver and his Nibs's shirt, but seems to me it takes the bloomin' bun, this stylish splicin' of a bloke and skirt. To be your wedded wife? Oh, take a pull! What in the hell's he think I come here for? And so he drawls and drones until I'm full, and wants to do a duck clean out the door. And yet, for all his highfalutin' jaw, old Snowy was a real good meanin' bloke. If 'twasn't for the 'oly look he wore, you'd think he'd piled it on just for a joke. And when at last he shuts his little book, I heaves a sigh that nearly bust me vest. But 'eavens, now 'ere's Mother goin' crook, and sobbin' awful on me manly chest. I wish she'd give them waterworks a rest. "My little girl," she 'owls, "oh, treat her well. She's young, too young to leave her mother's nest." "All right, old chook," I nearly says. Oh, hell! And then we 'as a beano up at Ma's, a slap-up feed with wine and two big geese. Doreen sits next to me, her eyes like stars. Oh, how I wish their blessed yap 'ud cease. The parson bloke, he speaks a little piece that makes me blush an' hang me silly head. He says he hopes our lovin' will increase. I likes that pilot for the things he said. He says Doreen an' me is in a boat an' sailin' on the matrimonial sea. He says as how he hopes we'll always float in peace an' joy, from storm an' danger free. Then mother gets to weepin' in her tea, an' Auntie Liz sobs like a winded colt, an' Cousin Lil comes round an' kisses me, until I feel I'll 'ave to do a bolt. Then Ginger gets end up an' makes a speech. He'd 'ad a couple, but he wasn't shick. Me cobber 'ere, 'e sez, 'as copped a peach. Of all the barrow load she is the pick. I 'opes 'e won't forget 'is pals too quick, as wus 'is friends in olden days, becors I'm trustin' later on," sez Ginger Mick, "to celebrate the christenin'." 'Oly wars! At last Doreen an' me, we gets away, an' leaves 'em doin' nothin' to the scran. We're honeymoonin' down beside the bay. I gives an $50 to the man wot drives the cab, an' like two kids we ran to catch the train. Oh, strike! I could 'a' flown. We gets the carriage right agen the van. She whistles, jolts, an' starts, an' we're alone. Doreen an' me precious bit o' fluff. Me own true weddid wife, an' we're alone. She seems so frail, an' me so big an' rough. I dunno wot this feelin' is that's grown inside me 'ere that makes me feel I own a thing so tender, like I'd fear to squeeze too 'ard for fear she'll break. Then wiv a groan I start to 'ear a coot call, "Tickets, please!" You could 'a' outed me right on the spot. I wus so rattled when that porter spoke. For 'struth, them tickets I 'ad fair forgot. But 'e jist laughs an' takes it fer a joke. "We must excuse," 'e sez, "new married folk." An' I pays up an' grins an' blushes red. It shows 'ow married life improves a bloke. If I'd been single I'd 'a' punched 'is 'ead. End of section 3. Recording by Son of the Exiles.